So my name is Zelaya. I am an assistant professor of biology at California State University, San Bernardino. Since I've been here, I've heard a lot of things that have struck me. I think it's gonna take me a while to even process everything that I've taken away. Every conversation that I've heard has been really relevant to me, to my story, to the students that I teach. And it's not always conversations that I have every day with colleagues. Maybe the biggest thing I'm taking away from it is just this collection of people that I now know that I can go to if I do want to have these conversations. And not just have the conversations, but how to find solutions for some of these issues and how we can enact in them. My institution, I'm still quite new there. It's largely Hispanic. We get a lot of students that, maybe academically are not prepared in the sense that they might not be competitive at some of these other institutions. They work full time. They support families. A lot of the times, from my experience with the students that I teach, school is sort of the second priority. The first priority is their families and their jobs, and so it's a bit challenging from that perspective as an instructor when I'm I want to school is your priority, but no, it's not. It's not for these kids. Some of the biggest challenges to retaining our students, from my perspective, they have to work. They need to work to support their families. They've told me that I make them feel very comfortable in the classroom, that they feel really confident in my classroom, that they're not worried that, they're going to say something stupid or, that they're going to be wrong, maybe because of my approach and sort of the way that I handle mistakes or errors or things like that. I treat it as a sort of, hey, that's okay, let's learn from it, right? Like a very upbeat sort of way. And I think that helps to create a space of they feel safer messing up in my classroom. And they tell me that. It's certainly at least a decrease in stress for them. The most impactful moment, it's kind of the moment that I always talk about, is when I was in 5th grade and the first time I looked into a microscope and it was pond water. It blew my mind. These invisible things were just swimming around and they were alive. And I was like, what else don't I know? How is it? How are these things? What is this? It was just always that curiosity, but honestly, never realistic sort of. I never thought that would actually be anything I did. I went to school. I went to college. Started off as an art major because I liked to draw, and I figured that graphic design, that was a more realistic goal for me, I guess. But I took a biology class when I was in college as for general ed, and I kind of I fell in love with that course. I think it was the way the instructor taught that course that she really taught it from the curiosity perspective. Like, here is this problem. How do we solve that problem using biology? I just thought that was so cool. And I was good at it because I was just naturally curious and I really liked sort of problem solving. And I didn't ever really have that exposure. So it was a new thing for me to be able to practice those skills. So I switched my major about 2 years into my art program. That was tough. I basically had to drop out to work. So it's kind of similar to what I see with my students. I was first gen. I didn't do it the right way. I didn't know there was a whole process to sort of leave the university. I wanted to go back to an HSI because I think I felt like I want to go back and make a difference, right? To students who maybe had a similar situation as I did. From the time I've been here, it seems to me the mission of the hub is to increase diversity, but not just increase diversity, right? It's like systemic change. It's really trying to create something different in academia for STEM students, access to resources, allowing students to sort of be themselves and not feel like they have to change or assimilate. I think that's really hard to do, but I think that the network is helping contribute to that, and it's helping empower us as faculty to also try to do that within our departments, which can also be hard. I think of myself as a first-gen faculty and sort of the challenges with that too, of just like how can I really implement change as I don't know how to do that. Or if I did, do I have the confidence to do that? Do I have the the power to do that? And I think something like this is there to tell us, yes, you do. There's ways you can do that. There's support you can access to be able to help you do that. And so I think that's why something like this is really important, because without it, that lack of confidence would take over. And then, you see issues. I think it's just empowering maybe is the biggest word I could use for that.